people we've communicated with as family, people that we go to church with, we fellowship with, as they would say. During these times, and others if you're involved in some local politics, but really, it really shows its head every 4 years, around when these elections start to gear up, every 2.5 years. Because as the elections start to gear up, these things really come into play. We get so vindictive with one another. We get so divisive. We get so short-sighted. We get so arrogant. We get so hateful, so spiteful, so jealous, so foolhardy, so quick-tempered, so ill-informed, so quick-triggered. And when I say that, I mean the first thing that comes to your mind, you're unleashing it on people all across social media when they post things that may go against your sensibilities or beliefs about what should be our end games during these times, And again, his ghetto point of view at gmail.com is the place for it. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. It's your host, Phantm Phuego. Phantm Phuego. Shout out to everybody at the White Studio, Infinite, to Cali. Shout out to the homie J Banger. It's been a good week, man. It's been dope. But yeah. During these times, we get so divided. We begin to talk like we don't even know the people who we now hate. And what do we hate them for? We hate them over politics. Now, I hate to say this, and this is going to sound pessimistic or even a bit evil to some people, but there have been politicians on both sides of the fence. There have been red and blue, donkeys and elephants, Democrats and Republicans who have done the country a disservice. There have been red and blue, Democrats and Republicans, donkeys and elephants who have both done the country a disservice. They've both been selfish. They've both been used the country in the highest seat of authority for their personal gain. People from both parties have a history of doing this. There are people from both parties who have a history of doing this. Some of our most valued and revered presidents and other elected officials have a huge history of doing this. I don't get it. I don't understand how we let ourselves be divided over these things. These people, unfortunately, many of us will never have direct contact with some of these amazing people who are almost as iconic as celebrities, who are almost as iconic as rock stars. When you look at the energy and the cachet and the fervor in which people fight for people like Kamala Harris, like a Joe Biden, like a Bernie Sanders, like an Elizabeth Warren, like an Amy Klobuchar, like an Andrew Yang. When you look at the energy that was put behind people's fighting for those campaigns, and you can clearly see how it can so easily tear apart a community that those very same candidates claim that they are here to help unite with its neighboring communities, with the country as a whole, and that country together uniting with the world. These are the promise that many of these elected officials, in not so many words, make in just a roundabout fashion. They say we're going to have good economies, we're going to have good jobs, we're going to make some stuff here, but outsource some stuff, but we're going to export more than we import and have a good GDP, and we're going to bring down debt, and we're going to increase the value of the money in circulation by increasing the value of the people in our labor force. These are the things that are promised consistently over and over, no matter how they say it, generally sprinkle in a little bit about education and housing. healthcare. And I mean, you've pretty much got the pitch for every different political party. And I know some people don't even like to talk about the fact that there are actually more than two political parties. And I know that is a shock to some people, but there are actually several political parties, all with candidates qualified to be president right now. So when you go to the ballot, you will see other people's names on the ballot. It's not a joke. It's not, hyperbole. Those are real people who fit the qualifications, whether it was getting enough signatures, meeting the qualifications, getting enough votes in particular key districts along the way to continue to be in the race all the way throughout. And while our media will only pay attention to the Democrat and Republican aspect of this, there are other very, very notable candidates in other parties who, of course, very likely will not win just because of the way the system of voting is set up. But they have, they may have excellent local policies. And if you're in a local area where some of these people are, you may want to look into that and how you can align yourself and align your family and align your neighborhood with these very open-minded. And I hate to use the word progressive because I feel like progressives kind of beat that into the ground without actually making much progress. Again, I know I'm going to get beat up for that. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. HISGHETTO POINT of view at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Yeah, I know. I get it. Kamala's your girl. Biden's not what you were hoping for, but you feel it's better than the other side. You feel it's better than the worst that can be on this side. It's interesting. But let's jump into some music because we're going to have an interesting conversation this evening about Kamala Harris, Cherie Peoples. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is His Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, previews, and reviews, which is the twist of my ghetto point of view. Let's go. Good evening. It's Sunday. Shit. Yeah, so let's talk about it, guys. Let's really delve into this Cherie Peoples situation. Cherie, forgive me if I'm saying this. Forgive me if I'm saying this amazing woman's name incorrectly. Cherie Peoples. I want to make sure I get that right. So forgive me if I double talk and I say it both times. But Miss Peoples, her case in conjunction with Kamala Harris and the truancy laws that she set up in LA, it's a very sad one. If anybody hasn't had an opportunity yet, please Google Cherie Peoples, Google the truancy laws, put Cherie Peoples /truancy laws into your Google search. Cherie is spelled SCHEREE, Peoples, PEPLES. Put that in your Google search and see what comes up in conjunction with Kamala Harris. And especially, and I don't want to single any group out, but I'm especially talking to women right now, in particular women of color, who are saying that this election is, buoying them, putting them on the pedestal that they so rightly deserve. And that's me being genuine. I feel women deserve to be on pedestals. I don't believe that we are equal beings. I believe that men, while extremely valuable to society, don't serve the role that women do. Women literally bring life into existence on this planet. Women literally bring life into existence on this planet, or this plane, if you want to break the root down to its root, Women do that.
Women should be exalted. Women should be on pedestals. Women should be honored, celebrated, supported, encouraged, appreciated, and protected, most importantly. When I say protected, that doesn't necessarily mean do all the fighting for them. That may mean show them how to fight for themselves. Empower them to be able to come to their own defense. And sometimes in doing that, you end up helping empower so many more people, because as that woman gets older and she may become a mom or an auntie to someone else, or even a midwife or a business owner, and have associates work under her who will have children or who will be family women. And when you educate and influence them, you can educate and influence so many others. You can educate and influence a whole community when you teach those moms that are the community moms. You know, the ones that everybody say, hey mom, how you doing mom? The ones that everybody get a plate from. The ones that everybody know they can go to in times of hard. The ones that everybody know they can go to when they need a place to stay, a place to crash. The ones that everybody know they can go to when they need an extra 50 cents. Those community moms, if you teach one of them, you could change the whole community. You could change a whole city, a borough, a town, a village, a district. You can make immense change by infecting change in females and influencing change in women. And I don't say that to say you can't make immense changes when you change a man, because, we have so many examples of that. Look at Malcolm X. Changing and influencing that brother helped him change and influence hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions and millions at this point, across the whole world. Yeah, I'm physically, I'll preface it like this. Physically, he may have influenced hundreds of thousands, if not a few million, physically. But of course, around the whole world, throughout his history, and since then, with everybody learning about him, gentlemen like Malcolm X, they've definitely influenced hundreds of millions of people worldwide, and will continue to do so throughout the course of time. But even scholars like himself will teach you that when you teach a woman, when you influence a woman, when you encourage a woman, when you empower a woman, when you strengthen up women, you literally can change and empower and influence and strengthen up an entire nation. Because the influence that these women will have on children is so immense. Just by law of proximity, just by being around children. By nature, women will tend to be around children. If they just go through the natural course of life, if it's natural to them and feels right to them, they have children, they'll naturally be around those children. They'll be raising and maintaining and nurturing those children. They'll be influencing those children with their ideas, their experiences, their insights, the ways they see the world. The things that have affected them in life will then affect those children. You ever hear when people be like, oh, this kid is just so angry at certain people? It's probably because those people are not very well liked by the mom. Now, there's not concrete scientific evidence to this, but we can all see in the mannerisms of children that these things readily do occur. Children seem to be keen to the energy or the aura or the tension in the room between particular individuals. They seem to have heightened senses to those things. They seem to have heightened senses to people's emotions, period. And try to do things in their own power and childlike ways to try to influence those things. It's truly marvelous to witness. Children are definitely wise beyond their years, and when allowed to be, can be a shining example of, the beauty in this world. But I digress. When you teach a woman, you teach a lot of people. You influence a lot of people potentially. And so, we always want to be mindful with that message and how strong it is and how powerful it is. And so I say this to women of color, women period, because women period are going to, vote for and encourage Senator Harris being now the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party. But if you look at the cases of people like Cherie Peoples, whose daughter just this past year had to spend over 200 days in a hospital because she has the debilitating disease known as sickle cell anemia. Just this past year, in 2019, spent over 200 days, according to Cherie Peoples' interview that she did on recently with Antonio Moore, the lawyer from LA, who did the documentary Freeway Cracking the System. Excellent films. He also helps run the American Descendants of Slaves network with Yvette Carnell. Very, very insightful, very educated, very good work these guys do. It's amazing. Some of you may know it as just ADOS. The American Descendants of Slaves. They do excellent work. They get conversations started. They do thought-provoking things. They can do things that put people in stark contrast with one another. They can do things that can radicalize sometimes. Absolutely. All those things are real. They can also do things that can galvanize and push a concept forward. And in the case of conversations about things like reparations and who is rightfully deserving of such, I think they've definitely helped bring it to the forefront, keep it in the forefront, and make sure there's consistent pressure to get those ideas put on the table and get some traction actually going toward that. And so I bring all this back to Cherie Peoples and the tragic situation that befell her and her daughter. So her daughter has sickle cell anemia, as I previously stated. And just this past year in 2019, well after her interactions with Kamala Harris, her daughter just had to spend over 200 days in the hospital because she's truly going through a debilitating disease and a debilitating sickness. And we wish that young lady love and light. We wish Cherie Peoples love and light. And I believe the daughter's name is Shayla Peoples. If I'm getting that wrong, please forgive me. Please correct me. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Or you can also find me at HGPOV Show on IG. His Ghetto Point of View on IG. And pretty much where social media socializes, you can find His Ghetto Point of View, Anchor FM and Spotify, Overcast, I'm sorry. There should be a podcast stream called Outcast, right? And I probably should be on it. Because a couple more of these shows, they will be trying to outcast. But anyway, I say all that to say I'm just teasing. I say all that to say this woman, Miss Peoples, was incarcerated because her daughter violated the truancy statutes in LA. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, under Kamala Harris, there was a truancy statute put in that if your child missed over 10% of the school year, and that's not very many days, they would be subject to a misdemeanor crime and could be incarcerated and fined $2,500. So Miss Peoples, coming from a low-income community, couldn't really afford these fines, nor could she afford to be doing jail time because her daughter has a debilitating condition to which she showed the paperwork for and presented the paperwork to the correct Board of Ed representatives in her local community. Her daughter also had a on-document 504 plan. For those that don't know, 504 plans are reasonable accommodations. I myself have been a high school teacher out here, and have had to read over students' 504 plans and see what type of accommodations they get for classroom time, whether they get extra time on tests, whether they get to take elevators, whether they get to leave the class a little early, whether they get to go use the restroom additional times, whether they get to go for extra water breaks or have water or have a small snack in their bag with them on their person. The reasonable accommodations, light things that you can do to make the classroom a bit more accommodating for children with different needs, different special advanced needs. And we do this as educators and as a community and as a country, really, because we understand that our children are the future, and we need to make sure that we're molding their minds in the best ways possible to get the highest result. And the best, you'll learn much more relaxed, I guess they feel, than you would if you had to. You'll learn much more with these accommodations, you know what I mean, than if you had to constantly go back and forth to the bathroom for a drink of water. If the child can just have water, if there's an additional need for the child to have water, if there's an additional need for the child to constantly keep medication close, a nurse will come to the child's classroom periodically. These things, these accommodations are made just to ensure that, we're giving as many children as possible an opportunity to learn and advance themselves and grow, because you never know who's going to be the person who sparks the idea which employs millions of people. Because let's just be honest, this is all about being able to keep things moving forward, and the way you keep things moving forward is through innovation and ingenuity. If you have people inventing things, building new things, creating new ideas, creating new businesses, now not only do those people become rich, as they should. I'm very much a believer in that, because you should earn for your intellectual property. The ideas and how those ideas continue to generate money and trickle down and help other people generate money, you should earn your fair wages for that. But not only am I a believer in that, but then now you've opened up jobs, you've opened up opportunities for people who may not have gotten their ideas together, or may not have that type of ingenuitive mind, may not have that type of creative spark fully manifesting, because I feel we all have it. And it's just, are we living in our truth? Are we doing the things that we're most talented at? Sometimes because of fear, most often because of fear of not being able to take care of your bills, fear of not being able to have a place to stay, have nice clothes, fear of not having a car, fear of not being able to travel, fear of not keeping up with technology, fear. We tend to not live in our truth. So these people who engineer things, who design things, who create things, who manifest things, they're very often living in their truth. And whether we like or love or hate that truth, without them living in those things, without them living in that existence, we wouldn't have the advances we have. There wouldn't be the job markets that we have if people didn't invent Nike shoes, if people didn't invent iPhones, if people didn't invent laptops. There would be so few jobs out here if people didn't invent a mail system, a carrier system, if people didn't keep reinventing and redeveloping the logistics systems and the mail delivery systems. We would have fewer and fewer jobs. If people didn't invent drones, if people didn't invent cameras and keep reinventing cameras and making better lenses, mirrorless cameras that are much more small and compact, if people didn't continue to push the envelope with software and applications and coding and development, if people didn't continue to push the envelope, there wouldn't be a trickle-down effect that benefits society as a whole. So you have to nurture the minds of the children, especially the ones that you see that are very intellectual and can help push ideas forward into the future and that have that creative spark. You got to make sure those minds get molded to the best of their ability, because they will feed millions of people if given the ability, if given the platform, if given the supportive background, if given the supportive guidance, if given the structure and the environment to succeed. They will succeed. Shout out to brother A.A. Rashid, because he said that the other day, and he said it in a very excellent way. Children got to be given the environment to succeed. You want your child to become a doctor, a lawyer, etc. They have to be put in that type of environment. It is definitely beautiful to be naturally gifted, to have natural inclination to do something. But if you are not put in an environment to take those natural gifts and blossom, it will never happen. And if you don't naturally have all of those tools at your disposal, if you are put in an environment where success and winning is happening, you will very likely exceed people's expectations of you, because you were put in an environment to succeed and to exceed whatever your initial nature may have been. So you might not have been born into the best of situations. You might have been born with a slight disability, but if you are born with a slight disability in an amazing environment, that environment will support your disability and help you to foster your strengths and continue to build on your strengths while helping you to improve upon and find ways to not only cope with, but to thrive with whatever your limitations or hindrances may be. So I say all that to say mothers play an extremely valuable role. The environment in which they raise their children is extremely valuable. The lessons they learn, which they in turn then teach the children, are immensely valuable, because that's the stuff that the children get in those 0 to 3 years. Come on, guys, we all know this. I'm just preaching to the choir because I got the best audience in the business. I got the best audience in the game. You guys are the absolute greatest. You guys know all this stuff. That's why I thank you guys so much. You keep me on my toes. I gotta stay sharp, talking to the greatest audience in the world. You guys rock with me each and every Sunday. Anchor FM, Spotify, Overcast, etc. Apple Podcasts. You guys rock me all the time, and I greatly appreciate it. And you tell a friend, you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You share it. You let people know that we're doing thought-provoking talk over here. That's educational, entertaining, and I bop them good records. My Anchor fam know what time it is with the records. But those who are listening on Spotify and Overcast, please make sure to check out the artist when you have a moment. This week I'm going to be playing some records by T. Cali off his Gray project. So check out T. Cali, the Gray album. I'm going to be bopping some stuff from O'Henny. Please check out O'Henny's new Revolutionary Ratchet project. It's absolutely beautiful. I just actually released a record called Dream Flowing. It'll be on Spotify and Tidal, YouTube, Apple Music. There's actually a preview of it on YouTube right now, so go check that out. Dream Flowing with no G, Dream, DREAM, Flowing, FLOWIN. Check that out. That's on YouTube right now. If you follow me on IG or Spotify or Snap, Twitter, you've seen me posting a few clips of it. Dream Flowing is the name of the record. I definitely appreciate all the love and people telling me they appreciate it so far. It's been really dope. August 31st, that'll be available for everybody to download and stream everywhere. But so definitely pay attention to the artists that I'm gonna be posting up. Sasa Just, SASAJUSTE. I'm gonna be posting up some of her stuff. Merce the Big Body Benz, please check out her stuff. Her stuff is amazing. She's really dope, and now she's also created a tarot channel where she's doing readings now, and sharing her art and her healing gifts in so many different ways. She's a really amazing artist. Definitely check her out too. So I'm fortunate to know so many really dope artists. Commander Flame, please check out Commander Flame. She actually did an interview with us a couple weeks back. If you didn't hear that, please go check out episode 8. She's really dope. Teacher, scholar, educated woman, graduated with a master's from LIU, and puts out really dope music. Check her out all over the net, and make sure you run it up. All the records for all these artists: T. Cali, O'Henny, aka O'Henny Cornelius. Make sure you run up my joints on here. My Roll It single is out now everywhere. Dream Flowing will be out August 31st. Please make sure you run that up. Check out Sasa Just. Check out Merce the Big Body Benz. Check out Commander Flame. Yeah, man. Check out Brittany Campbell music too. She's amazingly dope. She's an old soul trapped in a young body. She is an old soul trapped in a young body. Her music is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, man, I can't say enough. I'm surrounded by so many amazing artists. Shout out to Crim Della too. Shout out to the Black God Pantheon. Keita P Music. She's a member of the Black Art Pantheon. She has an amazing voice, and her instrumentation game is absolutely amazing. Shouts to all these amazing artists. Shouts to all these amazing artists. Shouts to Damo So Crazy. Shouts to the whole Vice Versus movement. Please make sure you run up his records too. Kool-Aid and Pizza. Make sure you run up his records too. Dude, he's dope. I'm just blessed to know so many artists out here really getting to it. And the legendary rhyme slayer himself, Cam Bada. Make sure you check out his record, LSD, Lunar Solar Duality. It is an absolute, if you really into them lyrics, it is really an album to check out. Cam Bada he went to work on that album. It's very dense material. His Mike L. Jackson record. Wow. Powerful stuff. So shout out to Cam Bada, Cambatta for those who are not sure. Cam Bada, LSD. Oh man, that whole album is really dope. N-word Christ for those who might get offended. Nigga Christ for those who don't give. It's a really, really dope record. Man, amazing stuff. And shout to Black Magic. Him and Black Magic have been putting out some joint albums too as well. But Cam Bada's new solo effort, LSD, has been absolutely very much a joy to listen to sonically, and mixes is dope. Wordplay is crazy. Videos have been amazing to look at. Very well done. So definitely shout and support and give love to all these amazing artists that have been popping through, rolling through, and the ones that I throw up on the playlist. Please show them love. Please check them out. Follow me at Phantm Phuego on Spotify. Check out my playlist that I'm putting together, and stream, share, and add what you feel is dope to your playlist. And that's how we spread the love out here. This is his Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, previews, and reviews, which is the twist of my Ghetto Point of View. Thank you guys. I got the best audience in the world. You guys rock with me each and every week, and I truly do appreciate it, man. You have no idea. I really love it. Put nothing above it. Swear to you. Please continue to tell a friend. Each and every Sunday we out here getting to it. I'm bringing you the news, previews, reviews, and the views. With just the twist of my Ghetto Point of View. You dig me? The news, previews, and reviews. Just the twist of my Ghetto Point of View. It's a great day. But anyway, Cherie Peoples, Kamala Harris. So Miss Peoples had to do time in jail. Miss Peoples lost her apartment. Cherie Peoples' daughter still going through these same debilitating conditions. What justice will it be for these people who Kamala Harris has destroyed on her way to the top? What justice would it be? Or is it just okay to just step on people as you climb the political ladder? Now, I know you'll say, oh, that's offensive, and I hope you keep this energy for all of the male politicians, and if anybody who follows me knows I do. But I think there's certainly something to be said for those who are our mothers. Those who do the caring for the community. Those who do the nurturing for the community. Those who give the first message to the children that they carry out into the world. I think there's a certain respect and honor and justly due veneration and cherishing that comes when you're a mom. And it's all rightly due. Y'all do everything. Y'all are so amazing. Like there's not enough words in the dictionary to describe how awesome good moms that are really active in their children's lives, even the ones that may not have a lot of money, may not have two nickels to rub together, the ones that are just always there, trying, always, no matter what, no matter how hard it is, they're trying. You moms are awesome. Through the good, through the bad. You moms that keep trying. Y'all are gems to be cherished and appreciated and loved. Kamala Harris, if she comes from that same type of energy, has to be held accountable because she took mothers away from their children. She took mothers away from their children. Women who had medical exempts for their children, women whose children had 504s and IEPs, doctors who went on record saying that these children needed accommodations. None of that mattered when Kamala Harris became in a position of power to oversee the lives of those families. All that mattered is that her word was law, and she used those laws to run up heavy fines on low-income people and to incarcerate tons of black and brown mothers. She used that power to run up heavy fines on low-income people and to incarcerate black and brown mothers. How do we say that's acceptable? How do we allow that? Where are we at as a society when that's what's allowed now? How does that make sense? That is our vice president. And I know people can say, well, she's changed. She's evolved. Well, sure, people change, people evolve, people grow. That is absolutely a fact. That is what time allows us to do, to make mistakes, to fall, to look foolhardy, to destroy ourselves damn near, and to rebuild and get up again. Everybody loves a feel-good comeback story. Come on. But what makes a truly feel-good story, a comeback story, is when you atone. When you atone. When you make amends. You might not be able to directly make amends to the people you hurt. They may have passed on already. So much time may have passed. Can you affect the children? Can you affect that community? What can you do to make it better going forward? Not that much time has passed. These people are still alive. These people's children are now older. They have been put through so much. What can be done to make that better? What can be done to make sure that there are no future people's families? What are we going to do? What are we going to demand for our voting? Or is it because the goal is so much to get out the Republican Party and the leader of the current Republican brigade that we will not demand anything? Are we giving up an opportunity to hold people to task? Are we giving up an opportunity that we could use to make people understand what we want matters? Understand that the way we want the country ran matters. Understand the way we need society to work matters, because we are the people. And if these people are representatives of the people, then they should be beholden or accountable to the people. Let's get into it, guys. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his ghetto point of view. Let's jump into some music. We'll be right back. Love you. Peace. Yeah, guys. So the NBA is back on. They just had the NBA draft lottery, and the Minnesota Timberwolves won the number one pick in the draft. Congratulations and shouts out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is the first time they will get to pick very, very high since they, picked Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen, which they then flipped into Stephon Marbury, who I still am very upset about for leaving Minnesota. It doesn't make any sense. like you was with your boy. Be patient, be humble, you'll get your money. How much money do you need? You know, so many things come into your mind and so many questions you have to ask. And I'm sure these are things he's asked himself. Stephon Marbury is an extremely intelligent individual. I should say Coach Marbury now. Because this man is not only, he's a coach, and he's led a professional basketball association to multiple championships over in China at this point. So Coach Marbury, you know, salute to you for being a New York legend forever. But I just always wonder, what if, you know, what could have happened with you and KG in Minnesota, being that you guys pretty much grew up together, the love y'all have for one another, the sacrifices y'all would give for one another. You can't tell me, like, I'm just talking like a real person right now. You can't tell me KG wouldn't have gave you no bread on the side, bro. Had you really been like, yo, bro, I really feel slighted about my deal, being that he was the highest paid player in the league. If KG wasn't already giving you bread, bro, like talk to me for real, Marbury. Talk to me for real. Like, pardon me, guys. I gotta have a real heart to heart with Stephon Marbury right now. Like, Marbury. And I just saw a kid from Coney Island, which was done masterfully. And it's now actually available on Netflix for those who haven't had a chance to see it yet. Kid from Coney Island shows the entire story of Stephon Marbury coming from, you know, very humble beginnings out here in the slums, in the dweller. But it never feels like the slums of the dweller when you're in it. And his family love, especially when you have a family as powerful as the Marburys and the lock they had on Brooklyn. And, you know, they really made Coney Island home for that young brother and for everybody that followed behind him. And, you know, shout out to his cousin too, Lance Stevenson, who's also, Sebastian Telfair, who also made the NBA. But Lance Stevenson might as well be Marbury family too, because he also made it out of Coney Island. Lance is a beast himself. Lance make him dance. It's something in the water over there by Coney Island, because a lot of really hard-nosed, gritty ballers come from over there. I mean, what can you say? A lot of very hard-nosed, gritty ballers come from that area. Shouts to them, man. What else can you say? It's just crazy, because I feel like, you know, Marbury, had you stayed in Minnesota with KG, A, you would have got paid. B, I think Minnesota would have got at least 1 or 2 championships, and they run together. If they would have did their first 10 years in the league together, I think it's without question to say 1 or 2 championships would have came out of that, and they would have been exciting to see championships at that. Very, very high level basketball. But anyway, Marbury, you did what you felt was right. You did what you felt you needed to do. You wanted the bigger check, and you got it. And, you know, all I can say is I don't know if your NBA part of your career would have went as you wanted it to, though you will in question go down as one of the best point guards ever, because I believe he's like 18-10 for his career, 18-8, like something crazy. You know, like the man put in work on every single court he stepped on in the NBA. So he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer just with his NBA stats. Couple that with the fact that he went to China, won 3 rings as a player, and then a couple more as a coach, and then GM, kind of in a coach GM role running the team. And I mean, you have to say he's one of the best basketball players, one of all time. And 2, to me, yeah, without question, Stephon Marbury is one of the best basketball players of all time. Put him on the list. I don't care how you feel about him, his personality, where he come from, his demeanor, allegedly, because you're not him. You don't go through what he go through. So I understand all that stuff. You know, you had to do what was right for you, but I feel you and KG was right for you. And I don't want to act like I know what's best for you, but I'm just saying, as a young brother, being able to be around another young brother who you grew up with, I mean, it just happens to be something said for that, you know. I don't know if you can put a monetary value on being able to win at a professional level with your brothers. And I hope that the Ball family shows us that, and that they really revamp how players think about getting to the bag and about, doing everything just to get to a bag. When very easily Stephon Marbury could have took the money he got from Minnesota and opened up a series of businesses with him and KG's name on it in Minnesota. Do you understand how much money that would have made? Put him and KG's name on some chicken spots. Not to say people should be eating chicken, because we understand the health benefit, the health risk and stuff. But get some good natural chicken, like a Chick-fil-A type of vibe. With KG and Stephon Marbury name on it, you have two high-level NBA players who play ball together in the same market, co-signing and double branding themselves on restaurants, on a car dealership, on a media company, on a media outlet, on a TV channel. I'm just saying, I felt like, I don't know who was in his corner at that time, but had I been in his corner, I would have tried to possibly weigh some pros and cons with him. And as I'm sure they did, I don't know, man. When you come from Coney Island, it's hard. I get it. I come from Fort Greene, Brooklyn. I get it. When you come from those areas, it's hard. It's hard. You just thinking about how can you secure as much as you can to take care of everybody around you. And I don't know if you're constantly thinking about the today and tomorrow, because today is so hard. Today is so rough. Today is so mean. I need to do everything I can right now to fix today. It's very hard to think about tomorrow when you have to do everything in your power to fix today. Fix the moment. Fix this minute. So I get that. I don't know if Stephon Marbury was still in a place where he had to think like that. But again, I'm just talking from looking back at the situation, observing it, as I'm sure he has several times at this point. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he's had the opportunity to look back at the situation and be like, wow, had I stayed with KG, what could we have done? Not just on the court, but off the court. What could we have built? What could we have created? What could have manifested with our dual partnership? Putting two collective sets of NBA money together. Putting two larger than life brands together. What could they have accomplished? Could you imagine if Steph and KG put out their own apparel line? With both of them together co-signing it. Steph and KG. Could you imagine had they co-branded a deal with Nike? Their company, them making their own individual separate entity and licensing that. Doing a licensing deal from that company with Nike. You understand the type of money we talking? Especially had they won a ring, one single one, in a 10-year period. But it had always been in the mix to get over the top. You're talking about billions of dollars of potential earnings. You're talking about billions of dollars of potential earnings. Billions. That's not an exaggeration. That is an absolute fact. Billions of dollars of potential earnings. So I don't know who was around you at that time, Steph, but I know y'all made the best decisions for y'all family, and I respect it 100%. I just, the basketball guy in me wishes to have seen you and KG put on that beautiful show for a couple more seasons at least. And the business mind in me makes me think like, I don't know if the opportunity that you and KG had coming in as rookies who have grown up together, how that story could have been sold to the world. I don't know if that was properly presented to you, and it may have been. You may have had the right accountants, the right lawyers, the right attorneys who presented all of that to you guys. Like, yo, y'all could really sell this story, sell this brand, sell you guys as a joint commodity, and people would love it. People would eat it up. In today's market, y'all would have had a joint reality show. Like, come on. I don't think that enough was done to take advantage of that situation. Put cameras on the two of you 24/7. We selling DVDs at the end of the season with just y'all and how y'all kick it off the clock. Y'all working out together in the summertime. Y'all in the video room. The yelling, the arguing, the making it work till y'all get to the chip. I think the fans would have personally ate that up. Even have a couple days where y'all come out in each other's jersey. Man, I think the fans would have went nuts for that. And it would have just continued to build on the acts of camaraderie and generosity and brotherhood that are fostered through sport. I think any brand would have ate that up. But I'm a kid from Fort Greene. I'm not a kid from Coney Island. So, we don't think the same. And I completely get that and I respect that. And to act like I was thinking like this when I was that age is a lot. Is a lot. This is sitting back, reflection, learning from tons of people, making mistakes, falling, seeing how things can flip in your favor or flip out your favor. This is now a more reserved individual who's had the time to think about these things and how they could benefit people. As I'm sure he has as well. As I'm sure you have as well, good brother Marbury. I just wonder what if, man, as I'm sure you do too. But who cares, man? You're a legend. You've got so many accolades on your so many accolades on your resume. You've done it all, literally. Who can knock you? You brought $15 shoes to the hood. I mean, come on, man. Who's done that? Who's brought $15 shoes to the hood? Who tried to cut out and cut away that model of having to give kids $100 of shoes when you know they can't afford them? I wish that had more time to bubble up. I wish you would have been given a bigger opportunity to make that happen. I know in China you've been given that, and that's beautiful. And I hope one day you can bring that back to the States, because kids need a low-cost, efficient option for footwear, for playing ball and stuff, and for stylish shoes, period. If they come from low-income communities, they shouldn't feel the need to spend the majority of their money on these shoes, which are going to be worn down, and they don't even have stocks in these companies. So it's unfortunate. And you were trying to change that game, and you were trying to make people realize that, it doesn't have to be this way. That's money that could go to groceries. That's money that could go for a tutor to get your academics as high up as your footwear game, as your shoe game, as your feet. And you were just trying to bring that to us. And I super appreciate that, man. You went up against these big shoe companies and you made a hit, and you punched them in the face. They felt it. Wasn't as big as you may have wanted it to be, but they felt it. Just imagine what you and KG could have done 6 or 7 years into the league, pooling your resources. Just saying. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, bringing you the news, previews, reviews, with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. Shouts to everybody over at Anchor.fm. Shouts to the people at Spotify. Shouts to Overcast. Shouts to everywhere dope podcasts are streamed, shared, loved, hated, ridiculed, criticized, berated, cursed out, and most importantly, appreciated. I'm your host, Phantm Phuego. Let's jump into some more music. Get out of here. Yeah, so continuing my conversation about the NBA. Again, it's your host, Phantm Phuego. The playoffs have begun, and it's looking kind of spicy. If I had to make a wild pick, just off of what I saw from Luka Doncic, I think they may go to the Western Conference Finals. If they get past the Clippers, Dallas goes to the Western Conference Finals. Luka Doncic is that real of a player. And I've been telling people Luka Doncic was that real since he was 16. I told people Luka Doncic to me is the next translation of what James Harden's game would be. With the step backs, the pull-up jumpers, you've got now somebody who grew up playing Euro ball, not somebody who eventually intertwined that Euro style, the side steps, the step backs, all of the finesse parts of the game. You got somebody who grew up manifesting all of that suave, technical basketball. And that's not to say that Americans don't play a technical brand of basketball. I would argue that our brand of basketball, though, doesn't have as many counters to it. I feel like European basketball has it's very similar to boxing. There's a lot of counter. It's very cerebral because they may have players who may not have as much athleticism, so they figure out ways to counter what the defenses are doing because they play hard, stone-nosed defense in a lot of those European leagues. Very tough, rugged, rough. Just big men slamming people to the ground. Very reminiscent of how Detroit played with the Bad Boys. Shouts to Isaiah Thomas. So when you got a player like Luka Doncic who has grown up playing in that type of system, and you got a player like Kristaps Porzingis being his running mate who also grew up playing at a high level in that type of system, you've got two players who have grown up since they were very little playing Euro basketball at a super high level, now being running mates and the building blocks for a very special organization. I think they can make it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think they win. Of course not. I think they're too young. I think that Luka would become enamored with LeBron eventually. And that may come to his detriment and his downfall. But do I see the Dallas Mavericks eventually surpassing the Lakers and winning a championship or two? Absolutely. This is not the year though, but eventually. But if I had to say a sleeper pick to go to the Western Conference Finals, Dallas Mavericks. Luka is not afraid of the moment. The moment does not matter to Luka. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been hitting three-pointers to win championships for a long time. If anybody remembers, that's exactly what he did to win the EuroLeague MVP. Is he hit the buzzer beater to win the last game. And so he's been stepping into those smooth jump shots for years and years and years, and hitting them and winning big trophies. Now you combine that with the fact that as his diet adjusts to the NBA and his body adjusts and he becomes more refined and loses some of the young pudge and, really gets into his, workouts and feels, figures that out. I don't think there'll be many players in the NBA better at his position. I think he would definitely be top 20 in the league in the next season or two, and definitely top 10 in the league within the next 5 years. Will he ever hit that top 5? Who knows? Will he be the top man in the league? Who knows? I'll leave that because there are a lot of young, amazing players coming up right now. I think Michael Porter Jr. is the future of the league. I think he's the future face of the league. He's smart. He's charismatic. He's young. He's very intelligent. He's very articulate. He has some very interesting views. If anybody's seen the report with him on vaccinations the other day, allegedly he's never been vaccinated. Even when he went to go play at Missouri, he didn't get vaccinated. His brother, he says, is not vaccinated. So you have these two amazing players who are now at the NBA level, who say they've never been vaccinated the entire time, and they feel that, while corona is a real issue, that there's definitely, with the vaccinations, some type of population control situation going on. Something that has been echoed a lot in these recent years. Definitely something to look into. If you can have a high level athlete like this, never have to get any shots or anything, I mean, that's just an amazing thing. I personally have had shots, like I'm sure most people have here. In recent years, I've neglected to get, boosters and things, just because I feel like I've had enough shots at this point, and I don't feel the need to continue to do that. If I was an elderly person, if I was a small child, it'd be a different conversation, because I probably wouldn't be 100% in charge of making that decision for myself anymore at that point, unfortunately. Yeah. So recently I haven't been doing the shots thing as much. I feel fine. I've been trying to eat right. Been going vegan. Trying to lose weight. Seeing how allowing my body just to heal and thrive. Seeing how much my immune system can take if I feed it the right fuels, and allow it time to heal and rest, and do fasting, and allow my body just time to heal. I want to see what that would do. So I say all that to say, I think Luka will be a beast in this league as he continues to work with NBA chefs and NBA trainers, and just his body adjusts to the 82 game grind. I think he will be truly special. I don't know if he'd be having this type of season if they had to play the whole 82, because that type of grind on young players is a lot. It's usually the veterans that know how to push their bodies through these dog weeks. So salute to him, and I just want to see how he continues to grow and manifest going forward. The NBA has been a vets league for a long time, because vets usually know the things that you need to do to get over the humps to win the championship. But as the game transitions, it will become a young people's game, a young person's game. And we will see more high-flying and entertaining championships won. That is the future. So we'll see who's the top player. Michael Porter Jr. is an absolute beast, though. And I think he will definitely be in the conversation for top 5 as well. Or top 10, I should say. Top 10, top 20. I'll be conservative, top 10 and top 20. But Michael Porter Jr. to me has everything that it takes, you would need to be top 5 in the league in a very short time. The Nuggets are going to be absolute animals. And if, the Nuggets could quiet as kept win this whole thing. Are they ready yet? We'll see. Are they ready yet? All their very, very key players are still a little young. Still a little green around the gills. Still got a little Similac on their breath, as they would say, as the vets love to say. So we'll see. We'll see if they can take the pounding. Because, let's be honest, the vets are going to freaking kill them. They're going to clobber you. They're not going to be, the vets are going to absolutely annihilate you. They're going to come. They're going to throw elbows. They're going to be throwing. They're going to be, those screens are going to hit hard. It's as this thing wanes down, it's going to get very, very serious. Your bones may break. Things may get dislocated. Things may pop. Things, muscles will tear. This is championship level basketball for grown-ups. So we'll see what happens. It'll be entertaining either way. I have the Lakers taking it. But stranger things have happened. I have the Lakers taking it though. And until somebody shows me that they can beat them in a 7-game series, that they can handle the intellect of LeBron James, the overall game, the massive size and skills of Anthony Davis, until someone shows me that they can defeat that for a 7-game stretch, I'm going with those guys. The championship acumen of a Danny Green and a Rajon Rondo and, the young brass Kyle Kuzma. Still somebody shows me that they can handle all of those guys' games being on, because I don't think we've seen a game yet in these playoffs where all of them has been on. And I think as these playoffs continue to go and they get more into each other's games again and they have more practices and more reps of real game time situations around the referees and the coaches, etc., I don't know how many teams will be able to take them for 7 games. I don't know how many teams will take them 7 games. So we'll see what happens. I just think that that's just entirely too much star power. And when you have that much star power aligned on one team, you got to go for broke every night just to have a chance. And I see that the Portland Trailblazers have an amazing squad. They have the type of squad that I love to play with in 2K. That underdog squad that really has a lot of killers on it that nobody really gives the respect. For them to be able to get Hassan Whiteside for pennies on the dollar because of everything that happened with him in Miami with Coach Riley. I think Hassan Whiteside is a beast of a player. And I think as he moves away from the situation with him and Pat Riley, we will get to really see the person who initially came into the league pulling 20s and 20s out of nowhere. We'll see that guy reemerge. I think as he gets his confidence back and gets to step outside of that initial Miami environment, because that's not for everybody. That Miami environment is not for, it's a dog environment. And he was a dog, which is why Miami loved him and gave him the money. Absolutely. But Pat Riley's a particular type. You know, Pat Riley loves veterans. Hassan Whiteside, why he came into the league older because of, the way he got into the league. He's not really a veteran of the NBA lifestyle. So giving a young player who deservedly so a huge contract, that type of life has to be adjusted to. You went from literally having nothing to now having tons of money in your account, access to all these huge credit lines, access to pretty much being able to hang with celebrities, do the things that you've always dreamed of doing, literally fell into your lap within a year. From being broke and hanging in practice gyms. Hassan Whiteside's going to need some time just to mentally get right. And I think being on a team with a guy like Carmelo, with a guy like Dame Lillard, with a guy like CJ McCollum, that is a scary 5 to me. And then you haven't even added in Yusuf Nurkic. So you have Yusuf Nurkic, Hassan Whiteside, CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, and Carmelo Anthony all on the same team. And then regular, and you would call that a championship team. In a standard season, you would literally, if those guys really had the time to gel together, you would call that a championship possible team. But for some reason, because it's in Portland, because we always giving excuses for why Portland can't get it done, we don't consider that a championship level squad. We don't consider it a championship level squad. We don't consider it a championship level squad. And it's crazy. You got Carmelo Anthony going up against LeBron James in a playoff situation. When did we ever think we was going to get to see that? It's interesting, man. It's very interesting. It seems like all the things that you could have asked for have fallen into place for this NBA season. Interesting times. It's going to be a nice one to watch to the finish. I got the Lakers winning it, but I think it's going to be some great series along the way. It's definitely going to be some amazing series along the way, and I hope you guys are keeping yourselves tuned in. But as Kyrie Irving has said, even though we tune into these things, let's not tune out of the bigger issues in the world. It's your boy Phantm Phuego, bringing you the news, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. Let's tune into some more tunes, and we're going to get out of here. Cheers. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. Please check us out each and every Sunday. It's Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my ghetto point of view. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. As always, you can reach out to us, hisghettopointofview@gmail.com. 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 Shouts to everybody at Anchor.fm. Shouts to the whole team at Spotify and Overcast and Apple that handles all the amazing streaming for all of our dope pods.
Shouts to you guys. You're an amazing audience. I couldn't do anything without you guys. Got some amazing interviews coming up for next week. Stay tuned, stay in store. Stream, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. His ghetto point of view is where it goes down. Have a great one. See you next week. Sundays is where it's at. Shit.